as Obadiah verses 15, 17, and 21, and I will be reading from the Brenton Septuagint translation. It reads thus: For the day of the Lord is near upon all the Gentiles. As thou hast done, so shall it be done to thee. Thy recompense shall be returned on thine own head. So this is talking about the day of destruction upon all the Gentiles, all the nations, all the heathen. This is not the day of the Lord upon a local community or upon a small group of people. This is worldwide upon all the Gentiles. So we know that it's talking about the last days, the final destruction. Verse 17. But on Mount Zion there shall be deliverance, and there shall be a sanctuary, and the house of Jacob shall take for an inheritance, meaning a possession, those that took them for an inheritance. So those nations that took the children of Israel as slaves will become slaves to the children of Israel. Verse 21. And they that escape shall come up from Mount Zion to take vengeance on the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Again, this is a latter-day prophecy when the day of the Lord comes upon all over Gentiles, all over heathen, all of the nations that enslaved the Israelites. The Israelites will enslave those nations, and we will take vengeance on the mount of Esau, on the Edomites, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So because this is an end-time prophecy about vengeance on the Gentiles or non-Israelites that destroyed and enslaved the Israelites, and because we can clearly see that the Edomites are listed among these Gentiles upon whom the Israelites will take vengeance just before the Most High sets up his kingdom on the earth. It means that the Edomites still exist today. This could not happen if there were no Edomites today. Fallacy number 2. Esau was prophesied to rule the world. Some people think that if the so-called white man is not Esau, we must expect another captivity. This is because the so-called white man is currently ruling the world, and some Hebrew Israelites mistakenly think that Esau was prophesied to rule the world. Therefore, they say he must be the so-called white man. This is one of the lies that is found in the 1611 King James Version of the Christian Bible. It is a book of deception that leads many unsuspecting Israelites astray. There are so many traps and snares in the King James Version of the Christian Bible that I have created an entire playlist exposing these lies. To learn more about this subtle deception, please listen to my teaching entitled The Truth About the King James Bible. That is, the truth about the King James Bible. So let's go to 2 Esdras chapter 6, verses 7 to 9 in the 1611 KJV. That's 2 Esdras chapter 6, verses 7 to 9. And it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? So he's asking the question, how will we know when the world as we know it will end, and the new world begins? Verse 8, And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this is saying that Esau will be ruling when this world ends. The Edomites will be ruling at the end of the world, and Jacob, which is the Israelites, will rule the world to come. Because of 2nd Ezra chapter 6, many Hebrew Israelites are convinced that Esau's descendants are now ruling the world. However, this is part of the grand deception because 2nd Esdras was purposefully written to lead the Israelites astray. For details of this fact, please listen to my teaching entitled 2nd Esdras is a forgery. That is, 2nd Esdras is a forgery. The next place that Hebrew Israelites use to convince themselves that Esau is ruling the world is Job chapter 9 verse 24. Job chapter 9 verse 24 in the King James Version of the Christian Bible says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. It not where and who is he." Context is key. Job said nothing about Esau or the Edomites. He was referring to the suffering of righteous men in general at the hands of unrighteous men in general. He was not suggesting that a particular race of people would rule the earth. Also, what Job said was not a prophecy. He was simply bemoaning the unfairness of life as he saw it in his own suffering. For a better understanding of Job chapter 9 verse 24, in context, please listen to my teaching entitled Hebrew Israelites Lie About the White Man. That is, Hebrew Israelites lie about the white man. The third place that Hebrew Israelites go to argue that Esau would rule the world is Genesis chapter 27, verses 38 to 39. That's Genesis chapter 27, verses 38 to 39. And it says, "And Esau said to his father, Hast thou only one blessing, father? Bless, I pray thee, me also, father." And Isaac being troubled, Esau cried aloud and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above." Many Hebrew Israelites say, "Thy dwelling shall be of the fatness of the earth," means that Esau would rule the world. That couldn't be further from the truth. This blessing has nothing to do with ruling the world. It is simply a way of saying that Esau would be rich and successful. Jacob received the same blessing and more. Isaac pronounced riches and success on both of his sons, as any good father would do. Let's examine the first part of Jacob's blessing for comparison. Genesis chapter 27, verses 26 to 28. Genesis chapter 27, verses 26 to 28 says, "And Isaac his father said to him, Draw nigh to me and kiss me, son. And he drew nigh and kissed him, and smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, Behold, the smell of my son is as the smell of an abundant field, which the Lord has blessed. And may God give thee the dew of heaven, and of the fatness of the earth, of the fatness of the earth, of the fatness of the earth, and abundance of corn and wine." We can clearly see that both Jacob and Esau were blessed with the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven. This simply means that they would be successful and wealthy. This blessing was fulfilled in their own lifetimes. We can find evidence of this in Genesis chapter 33. I will read Genesis chapter 33, verse 1, verses 4 to 5, and verses 8 to 11. That's Genesis chapter 33, verse 1, verses 4 to 5, and verses 8 to 11. It says, And Jacob lifted up his eyes and beheld, and lo, Esau his brother coming, and 400 men with him. And Jacob divided the children to Leah and Rachel, and the two handmaidens. Verse 2. And Esau ran on to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him. And the both wept. And Esau looked up and saw the woman and the children, and said, What are these to thee? And he said, The children with which God hath mercifully blessed thy servant.